but you're now a published undergraduate student.
Yeah, so that's very exciting, and I'm working on some other things at the moment.
Hey Sophia, how's it going?
Hi Griff, I'm pretty good. How are you?
Good, thanks. So, what have you been up to?
So this morning I've just been working on a little bit of my research project for my research assistant job, and just been relaxing. Yeah.
Nice. What's your research assistant job?
So I have a research assistant position with the Research School of Astronomy and Astrophysics at Astronomy, and normally I do research and help out with things with astronomy and astrophysics. But at the moment, and for the past sort of year, I've been working on a project in gender diversity modelling with my supervisor, Professor Lisa Cooley. And what this research does, or what I've been helping her with, is we've been looking at and modelling the proportions of female and male academics across the different disciplines, across the research schools and colleges at ANU, and looking at where the gender gaps are kind of the worst and which ones are in need of improvement and which ones are the best and so on, and basically recommending different strategies and initiatives to improve those gender gaps.
So, you're currently doing like gender diversity modelling. What were you doing prior to that?
So before that, I have done several different projects in astronomy and astrophysics. So first one was in first year at the end of 2019. I did a project with Katie Grasha and a few other undergraduates, and we looked at star formation in some Typhoon, so Typhoon being a survey, some spiral galaxies in the Typhoon survey. We actually ended up with a paper that was published this year, which I co-authored, so that was very exciting.
Oh, shit. Wait, so you've already published shit?
Yeah. So it was
Congratulations.
Thank you. So that was very exciting. So that happened earlier this year. We ended up with that. But it's crazy how long it can kind of take sometimes with research and academia, because this project we actually did, the end of 2019, 2020, and throughout 2020. And, it's only been published sort of early this year, 2022 now. So, it's crazy how some projects can take a long time to go through and finish. And then after that, I did a research project, an independent one myself with my supervisor, same supervisor, Katie Grasha, and I looked at another Typhoon galaxy. This galaxy was an irregular dwarf galaxy actually, and I looked at the different H2 regions throughout the galaxy. So these are star-forming regions, and I looked at the star formation activity throughout the galaxy. And so I did another project after that. We looked at metallicity with this one as well, different metallicity and ionization parameter, and I also looked at pressure and density as well, because that hadn't been done before for this galaxy. So that was quite interesting to find. So those are sort of the projects I've done in, I guess, optical astronomy and using integral field spectroscopy data, which has been really, really kind of exciting working with these different surveys. I also did another project with CSIRO where I had my first taste of radio astronomy, and that was very exciting. It was very different. I worked on a project, so it was with some radio galaxies data, looking at the position, orientation, and angles and lengths of the radio jets coming out of radio galaxies. So it was quite interesting. I'll admit I'm a bit biased. I will probably stick with optical astronomy. I do love the field that I'm in right now, star formation and galaxy evolution. So I think I'd like to stick with that. But it was really good to get a taste of radio as well. And yeah, I'd highly encourage, anyone who's going into research and in general to just try out all different kind of subfields within the field that you're in. Because that's how you kind of narrow down what your passion is.
Wow, so you've done, if I'm counting correctly,
five projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Five projects, and you've been
4 in Astro, 1 in gender diversity.
4 in Astro, 1 in gender diversity, and you've been here so you've done like a research project pretty much every year then?
Yeah.
Since you started uni.
This is my 4th year, and so I've done 5 projects.
Oh, so even more. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive. How come you ended up pursuing like research so early on?
So I got into research so early, so yeah, end of first year I started getting into research. Because I was quite lucky enough to know what I wanted to do early on. So I knew I wanted to do astro, and I kind of just wanted to have a go at this field. So I found my current supervisor, Katie, who I had for my first project and I've had for several projects after that, and she's still my supervisor now. I met her towards the end of first year at this science project fair market day thing, and they had a lot of different researchers from across all the different research schools at ANU there, and they were advertising their projects, and Katie was there as well, and she was advertising her project, and so I just went up to her and like I kind of talked to her about her research, and I was like really, really interested in it. And a few weeks later or something, I like emailed her to follow up on it, and I was like, I'd really love to do a project with you over the summer, and we like talked about it, and I ended up doing. That was how I got into my first project. It wasn't for credit or anything, and I'm really glad it wasn't, because it took me a while to kind of get how to do everything. I started to I had to learn how to like code and everything, which I didn't know how to do at all in first year, and I think I kind of exaggerated my abilities a little bit, because not exaggerated, but I was like I'm definitely willing to learn this, and she could see that, and I'm really, really lucky I had her as my supervisor, because she was willing to kind of train me from the ground up.
So that was a project that you recently got published, isn't it?
So that project that got published at the earlier this year. Yep.
That's incredible. So it's taken like 4 years for this paper to come out.
Two. Yep.
But you're now a published undergraduate student.
Yeah. So that's very exciting, and I'm working on some other things at the moment. So hopefully I'll get them through at some point, and that would be very exciting.
So you're working on other papers that are being...
Yeah, but it's very hard to balance it with coursework. Yeah. And I'll admit I'm not very good at it. I'm still working on it. I'm slowly getting there, I think. And I love it. It's not something I want to give up. I want to keep doing it, like even while I'm doing coursework. So, yeah.
Do you reckon doing research earlier has helped you a lot more? Like if you had started doing research in your third year compared to your first year, if you had changed that, like, do you reckon that would have affected your standing?
I really think starting as early as I have has helped me in so many ways. It's helped me see what it's like, doing research and what it's like being a researcher.
Yeah, your experience in undergraduate research then has been pretty good then.
It has been. I'm probably quite biased, but I would recommend that, like anyone should try it. Anyone and everyone should try it. But
so you've had three different supervisors, and all three of them have been good experiences, and they've all helped you develop into the researcher that you are today. What's been the biggest takeaway?
So I think having a good relationship with your supervisor is fundamental and essential to whatever kind of research or project that you're doing. You need to go out and kind of not just look for the field and projects that interest you, but also kind of I remember my supervisor used these words, but basically interview your potential supervisor and have a chat with them, have a Zoom meeting, whatever it is. Talk to them, see what they're like in person, and see if you think you'd want to work with this person. Because if you're working with them for example, 6 months for a course project, then, you want to make sure you actually like this supervisor. Or if you're working for them for a year for honours or multiple years for a PhD.
Is basically find a supervisor that you connect to.
I realise it can be quite hard to find supervisors as well. And so, there's a lot of different things that you can do to meet academics. There's when, for example, student societies or the colleges have research fairs and internship fairs, the one I went to in first year. You can meet a lot of academics that way. Go and even if you can, you could volunteer and do a project. That's what I did in first year. There's a whole lot of summer projects, internships, research scholarships, and so many different things you can apply for. If there's a lecturer or tutor or a lecturer or convener or something that you really, really like, you should talk to them about their research as well, and ask for different recommendations as well. And basically just be willing to be open to all the different opportunities out there. And at some point, you'll have to reach out and be kind of a little bit courageous and, you have to reach out to someone, even potentially cold call someone, cold call and email an academic at some point if you have to. But, always remember to be professional. There's nothing worse than an academic seeing an email, from a student starting with, hey, hey, doctor, or something like that, or like on a first name basis. But my supervisor got that once and she was like, not impressed.
You've done multiple research projects in your time as an undergraduate. How have you found communicating them?
Yes, so I've had a few different opportunities to communicate my research. So one of them being, as I mentioned before, the projects two of the projects I did for course credit. And so at the end of the course, you have to, give a presentation. So I had to give a presentation to like all the academics, and that was good to kind of start getting used to, I guess, giving talks in general, because it's a really important skill, really in any field, but particularly in academia, you need to be able to, you need to know how to communicate and articulate your research. But then for a general audience, I think this is probably even more important, because the sort of experience I've had with this has been mainly through my volunteering with Youngstars. So they're a STEM outreach program affiliated with ANU. It's really kind of forced me to break down what I'm doing with my research, and it really forces you to understand what you're doing on a fundamental level, and you need to be able to understand it on a fundamental level to communicate it to, kids, for example, who aren't familiar with like the jargon and things of the field. So, and then the other opportunity I've had to kind of practice communicating my research has been through the ANU Student Research Conferences, actually. That's been a really amazing opportunity to practice developing my talking skills and communicating my research to a general audience. But I would highly encourage anyone who's had experience with undergraduate research to also have a go at, presenting your research at some point to a general audience in some kind of way, whether it's, through volunteering or through a conference or, whatever. It's so rewarding being able to share your research in this kind of way, and being able to share your passion with other people, and making it as accessible to other people as well. You're not like gatekeeping it and just only keeping it with your field. It's so important that you know how to talk to people that aren't in your field as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here, Sophia. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you very much, Griff, for having me. It's been a pleasure being on here and being able to talk about my undergraduate research experience and my research as well. So thank you.
I was wondering, do you have anything that you're currently doing or anything that you want to promote that you're currently doing?
Yeah, I guess while you mention it, I am I'm an ambassador this year for the ANU Student Research Conference. So I know that's come up a few times. And I would highly, highly encourage any student who's got some kind of inquiry to, go for it and go present your research, and not just at the conference, obviously, but just really get practice anywhere and just go for any opportunity that that you can find, because you never know where it will take you. And I didn't know that my first project in first year would lead to all of these, opportunities down the road. But, if you go for that first step and just take that first step, then, you might find that it will snowball into all these opportunities that come later on. So, always be open to all the opportunities around you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. See?